Welcome to World Cinema Reviews. This is your host Frank Devant, and tonight we are beginning a very special series of videos. And I've been wanting to do this for a long time, but you know, I decided that tonight's the night. We're gonna talk about the Universal monsters. That's right. Um, Beginning with the coolest one of all, the beginning. The one that started it all, Dracula in 1931. And of course, we will follow with the Frankenstein monster, the mummy, the Wolfman, the Invisible Man, and the creature from the Black Lagoon. We're going to cover how they came to be, what's so cool about them, and why I love them. And I hope that if you're clicking on this video, you love them too, or you're curious to know more about it. Or if you're a young pup, you've never seen this again. This is essential horror. You see, these movies were not gory. We didn't have the special effects of today. What we had is a lot of atmosphere, a lot of great acting, a lot of creepiness to it, and the awesome black and white background, the awesome set designs that are so iconic. And truly, if you're a horror fan, you must really dwell to understand. I mean, I mean, go into deep and really just see how simple the films are, but at the same time, they brought something at that time that wasn't there. They um, and today many of the things that were used back then are still used today. So, but let's begin praising this film. And I want to tell you that this film is just so lovely and one of my favorites. And let's just begin talking about it. This was directed by Todd Browning and starring the awesome Bela Lugosi as Count Dracula. Um, Two awesome actors. First of all, I want to mention Dwight Fry as Renfield and Edward Van Sloan as Van Helsing. And the plot, you guys know the plot, right? It's pretty much the plot to you know to almost all the Dracula films, and it's been modified and changed in here and there, but it follows Solicitor Renfield that goes to Dracula's castle to because he wants to buy excuse me, he wants to buy a property, Carfax Abbey, back in England. And so he goes there, and at first, the count shows up, all charming, all very educated, offers him dinner, offers him, a place to sleep, and then basically controls his mind, and right in basically right before the Dracula's lady vampires are about to consume him, he shoos them away, and basically tells Renfield that they're going to travel, and they're going to travel to England aboard a ship, and then in there, Renfield helps load Count Dracula so he sleeps in a coffin, and then when they're sailing in the seas to England, Dracula comes in and kills everybody, drinks their blood, and when the ship wrecks ashore, they only find Renfield and acting like a lunatic, and so they decide to lock him up, and then Count Dracula, you know shows up and tries, and meets a couple of lovely ladies with Lucy and Mina, and you guys know the rest. He wants their companion for food and love, perhaps. But that's, I mean, basically the gist of it is just just a small, but on the simplicity of the film lies a lot of great things. But let me just start with what everybody's thinking about, and what I'm thinking about is Bela Lugosi. Bela Lugosi is a Hungarian actor, stage actor that have played Dracula on stage before. Basically got the role and just owns it from the very start. When you see Dracula, you see his demeanor. You see his his educated looks. His tall, slender, elegant look, but at the same time you see his creepiness. You see his eyes, unmatched and unbelievable. The way that they focus on them, and make them so hypnotic like, and the way that he can act so awesomely luring, and females fall for him. But at the same time, he's a killer. He's the undead. He's a vampire. He's Nosferatu, right? So we see this, and he, I don't know what is it about, but it's just amazing. Even to this day, I recently watched it, and it's just to this day it amazes me how great he is. He commands the role. He is just so creepy in it. There's some moments that it's just, even I get a little scared. I mean, truly, and like I said, there's no gore. There's no real thing. It's just his presence is just so iconic, so it's awesome. It's just, you just have to see it to believe it, and it's just, and the film relies a lot on the atmosphere and the creepiness, but he brings the creepiness down, um, with him, and he's just he was an unbelievable actor, and contrary to what people think, that he portrayed Dracula several times. He only portrayed Dracula one more time in the movie Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, which I have reviewed. Um, so he did portray other vampires in other movies, but that was the one other film that he did. But what he managed to accomplish is that a lot of I don't want to say all, but a lot of the vampire things, and and the way he spoke, the way that he brought it, it's still today. Hey, you still you can go to the market and go get yourself a box of cereals, and you see Count Chocula. It's just, that's Lugosi right there. You see the design of it, of him, and for many, 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 many years, even like I said, even today, some of the vampires are designed after him. So he was like the definite look of the vampire got there. Some of the lines: "I never drink blood," you know, "The children of the night, listen to the children of the night," and the way he says, the way he follows it up, it's just unbelievable, guys. It's just, I can't say enough about him. What else I can say? I can tell you that he's not the only great actor in this movie. Um, there's two that really stuck up. Dwight Fry is unbelievably creepy as Rainfield. The way he laughs, his maniacal demeanor is so over the top, so unbelievably entertaining and creepy at the same time. Definitely, he, I believe he's nuts, and I believe he's completely under Dracula's power. Then we have Edward Van Sloan as Van Helsing, and he's just so into it. He believes in the supernatural, and he fights. He's not afraid of Dracula. He fights him if he can. He understands him, and even Dracula. He says, "Hey, for someone who has yet to live a single lifetime, you are very wise, Van Helsing." And it's and the way he tricks them with a mirror. It's because Dracula can't cast no reflection, and it's really cool. And it's Van Helsing is my favorite Van Helsing of all time. Um, will always be Peter Cushing, but this guy comes close. He's really great. He's really great. He's really witty, and he does it for me. He definitely. So, what else is wonderful about it? The black and white film. I love it. I love the fog. Shoot, even I was really bothered by the bats in Scars of Dracula. From the 1970s. But I wasn't bothered by this bat. I mean, it's in 1931. They're working with what they can, and despite limited special effects, the film is way creepy. And definitely, the fact that there's hardly any soundtrack. There's a lot of silent moments um, on the film, but still, you just get it. And vampires. It's a lore. It's if you are a horror fan, if you like, ever since I saw Salem's Law, you know, because I didn't see this Dracula film until much later. Um, my father used to tell me stories about as a child seeing these movies, seeing especially the mummy scene, another great one, Boris Karloff, which we'll talk about him in this series as well. You seeing how creepy and how awesome they were, these Universal monsters. So I can tell you that I didn't see this until I was much older. But Salem's Lot was my introduction to vampires, and man, dude, it almost crapped my pants. And vampires have come a long way since then. But this is where they started, so there is a great beauty of this film. Bela Lugosi was unbelievable, and he will always be remembered because of this. And it's probably, as a side note, it's probably very sad that you know he probably he wanted to break into other films that he couldn't. He wanted to fight typecasting, but it was tough. So he made mostly horror films, and then at the end of his life was really tough. I read, and because he made some B movies and was ill, and it wasn't fun for him. I heard, and he was buried in his Dracula cape. So, hey, that's commitment right there. Well, basically, that's what I read, and some people say that this universal monsters will always stay with us, and I believe it. I believe that they are here to stay. I hope you enjoyed this series. I will be back with the other monsters. So sleep well, kids. Don't let the vampires bite. Subscribe if you like me. Leave a comment if you like this movie, or if you like Universal Monsters in general. Also, please, like I said, subscribe. Be well. Take care. Till next time.